Because at any slight opportunity that people have, they give these jibes about where we come from, ethnicity, who is not doing what, emotionalism that doesn't get us anywhere. We need to be united on this.
There's a soft underbelly to that, Chamberlain. People talk security awareness. You see, security awareness is important, but it's the destination. Security awareness is the destination which you have to go, which you cannot reach without embarking on a journey. Security awareness is a state of being. It's abstract. It doesn't really exist. You cannot get to security awareness until the average Nigerian begins to appreciate security threats awareness. Rather than talk about security awareness to the average Nigerian and leave him even more befuddled and confused than
because
he was.
If we don't have that appreciation, of the problem, we cannot even, take in some kind of precautionary measures that people like yourself or the security agencies would want us to know, so that we can actually start identifying some of these things when we see them.
The moment the security threat perception of the average Nigerian appreciates, awareness dawns naturally. If you know the security threats, then you are aware. If you don't know the security threats, nothing can make you aware. So who, what, and where are the security threats? Those are the answers our security chiefs should be trying to make known to Nigerians to build their confidence.
And as a matter of fact, how do we begin to do an assessment of the impact that all the funding for security is achieving? Because especially when you listen to those in the front lines, the combatants tell you, look, if we've got this equipment, give us 2 weeks. We will sort this matter out. And then you ask yourself, 2 weeks? What are you talking about? We've been on this for almost forever.
Yes, indeed.
And with so much funds. And
I said earlier that knowing what you can do with so much money is one aspect of it, and knowing how to do it is another. If you come to me and said you needed an entire tranche of cash to do a job, that's knowing what you want to do the job. Now you have to convince me you know how to do it by giving me a roadmap. You have to be telling me by A hour, by B hour, by C hour, this project should be so much far gone. And at the dot of Z hour, we should be closing this business. And by that time, every single kobo has been used. So if I track your performance and by F hour, you are nowhere near B hour, I should be cutting my losses and looking for someone who can actually modify or come and just continue from where you stopped.
Do we have experts?
I used to believe we do. But right now, I am not too confident in that belief anymore. I'll say...
Experts in what realm? Even though I should be asking Salem.
I am taking it.
Experts in the security agency.
Yes. In this perspective, you're saying. I'll tell you why. I have no doubt in the capabilities of colleagues and superiors in service. Mm-hmm. But the problem that makes my belief wane is most or much of what we do may be far gone and stereotype. You see, today's security situation, particularly the one we're facing, is not given to stereotypes. In Nigeria, if you remember this Oga thing, this Oga syndrome, people who are not stereotyped find it difficult to thrive in a system. I am not stereotyped. I'm very much outside the box. Those who know me well will tell you he's a deviant, but it's always gotten me there. I try to sit down and do things the way no one else wants to do it. I'll give you an example. I was once detained for predicting a robbery on one Nigerian banking brand. I was with the SSS for a while. I was just playing with figures on my system. I logged information from the Punch newspapers, and I discovered a bank along the Ekpe Ozumba Mbadiwe axis was being robbed serially with an average of 6 to 8 weeks in between.
Is it the part where the money just jump into the waters and escape?
Exactly. And I went to the bank I thought would be next and said, hey, a robbery is about to happen. It's waiting to happen. And The official there offered me a drink and just said, excuse me, walked out. And the next thing, the CSO came in with security agents and they took me away. What took me off the hook was the security agencies vetted me and went into my antecedents and discovered that this guy actually is an ex-military intelligence person and this is playground. 4 weeks later, that bank was robbed with gunboats. Now tell me something. If I walked into your banking hall and I said, let's have a security seminar, I bring your security chiefs together and say, let's plan a robbery. They'll say, this guy is crazy. But if you don't plan a robbery with your banking focus, you will never see what the armed robber sees.
But at the same
It's
time,
almost, sorry, Chimale, it's almost the same thing as a fire drill.
Beautiful. You have to enter their heads to be able to see what they see and think like them. Then you now come back and wear your security hat and get to work.
how do we know if we have people who are entering into the heads of the insurgents in terms of perhaps gleaning up the papers as well, plotting the graphs, looking at the incident that happened, the one in Kano, this in Nyanya, that in that other area, plotting that map and saying, look, I think there's a cycle here.
Yes.
And we need to nip this A,
Yes.
B, C, and D.
Yes.
How do we know when that happens?
Yes, you see, the results on ground will tell you if that is happening.
No, but you know that there's just one explosion somewhere. It rubbishes every perception that anybody's
Yes,
had.
yes, but if based on the antecedents of previous explosions you've been walking, you'll be able to see a trend and make the next one more difficult. What I'm trying to say is this: if today's explosion or yesterday's explosion in Abuja is the very first one, we can learn much about it. As I told you, one of my mentors always told us that the intelligence officer's favorite proverb should be, we are all creatures of habit. If I look at you long enough, I'll begin to see just something about you that will tell me every other thing else.
You know, we've said something about, people entering people's head and trying to create a drill. What the average Nigerian is thinking right now is, that could have been me. I mean, I could have been at that park. It could have been a chance passing or dropping a relative off. How do we begin to reassure ourselves that everything is all right?
We begin to reassure ourselves that everything is all right from the security agencies. Security agencies should be able to tell us that area, this area, that area is graded. Sorry?
So we should see them out, speaking to Nigerians. That's what we should be saying right now.
Yes, we have to communicate. Let me give you a typical example. If you looked at certain countries, they come out with what they call country advice to their citizens who are coming this way. That little country advice does so much in building the confidence of your citizens with you. There are so many forums the security agencies can use to speak to Nigerians. But then they will have to get to work first to identify those areas they really want to speak to Nigerians about. It's not after it has happened, you declare a red alert, you condole with people. It has become a tradition now. It has become a liturgy. The moment it happens, we should expect high condolence, high-powered delegations to come. We should expect to see a mass grave for them to be buried somewhere. We should expect some money. We should be expecting some money to be given to the families. It's been so free. It's been so overused now that people are bored.
So what can we be doing differently, or what should we be looking to see that will be different from this,
What we should
from
be
the normal
looking to
ritual?
see that is different, I could mention 5 or 6, but they're so sensitive. But let me share one with you. We should be able to see a situation where all the enforcement agencies, as many as we have them, which is not healthy, go into that place, probably for a week or 3 days, shut that park down, get to work, and tomorrow we should be hearing, this is the findings, this is what we've seen, this is what we've come about.
And they've trampled all over the place, people?
Well, we can always start from somewhere. That the people have trampled all over the place and they have kind of infracted evidence. We probably don't even have forensics. All those ones should bring that to fore.
Wow.
And we should be coming out with a list to say, based on what we saw here, these are our challenges. We need this, we need that, we need this. So that next time we can respond properly. The regulators should be saying, any car park in Nigeria must have this, must have that, or else we risk shutting it down. Nigerians should be learning that, look, when you get to the car parks, look for security threats and be aware of them. Then we should start telling them who security threats are, what kind of luggage they carry. Everybody can become the other's keeper. Yes, indeed. There's a lot of work to be done, I assure you, and it can be done. I mean, we're talking 170 million plus people.
It's not insurmountable.
Yes,
it can
indeed.
be done.
It can be done.
Well, I have to thank you for coming on. Retired Captain Omar Aliyu is a security consultant and former Nigerian military intelligence officer. Thank you for coming on this morning.
You're welcome.
All right, and we'll return in just a moment. Please join us again.